Today's episode is brought to you by Proud Wolves. It is Proud Wolves' mission to build stronger local communities by using global systems. Our main focus is the integration of children in the local community to boost their sense of purpose and belonging and reduce mental health issues and suicide rates. We want to make sure that children all over the world have free access to cultural activities and sport. Proud Wolves helps organizations to change their income models and stops them relying on membership fees for children. Find Proud Wolves on Google for more information. Now, get ready for your All-NBA Team of the Week. Goeiedag, enchantée, and welcome to this bonus episode of A24 Presents All-NBA Team of the Week. Wednesday, the 26th of January, marks the second anniversary of Kobe's death. I remember waking up 2 years ago, grabbing my phone and dropping it in shock of the news that I just read. I bawled my eyes out for a good 10 minutes before I could compose myself to find out what actually happened. I still tear up every time I hear someone reminisce about their time with Kobe. To remember him, we have put together a special episode where we look at 5 players in today's league that used Kobe as their example. 5 players in which the Black Mamba continues his legacy. Obviously, there are more players in the league that could be added to this list, but for the sake of this podcast, we had to make some tough choices. Get ready for your All-NBA team of Kobe's. Before we move on, I'd like to talk to you about A24. A24 is created by Proud Wolves with the intention to provide children with an opportunity to learn and play basketball at their own pace and completely free. We have created different courses which are available on the website to improve their basketball skills. But our real mission is to help disadvantaged children by building and upgrading basketball courts around the world and supply them with basketball gear to play with. Come and find our website and grab a t-shirt to support the course. Now, let's get back to the show.
Pick one!
Our first pick of the week is Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns. Booker was a rookie in Kobe's last season in the league, and a lot of people branded him as Kobe's natural successor. Book is pretty much the same size, weight, and plays the same position as his childhood idol. He can be just as inventive on the court and channels the Black Mamba focus, like when he played with a broken nose last season in the playoffs. Obviously, they're not identical players, with Kobe being more athletic around the rim and also more calculated and methodical in picking apart his defenders. Then again, Kobe did not get to play with Chris Paul. It was close though, something that has evolved Booker's game completely since that rookie year. In the last game Booker and Kobe played against each other, Kobe did something incredible for the rookie. After the game, he signed Booker's shoes, writing "To Book, be legendary" on the right and "To the Young Gun" on the left. A small gesture that has influenced Book in a massive way, tattooing "Be Legendary" on his arms 4 years later. He refuses to make the comparison with Kobe himself, but as he improves every year, he just turns more and more into a carbon copy of Kobe, but in his own way. Just like the Black Mamba, Booker lives in the mid-range, but in today's league, only the best are allowed to live there. Book is in his 7th year in the league, averaging just over 23 points, just under 4 rebounds, and about 4.5 assists per game. In the first few years, he was accused of putting up great numbers on a bad team, and he would never be able to lead a team when it counted. And then, in November 2020, the Suns traded for Chris Paul, and everything changed. All of a sudden, the Suns were a great team and nearly took it all the way, only falling in the NBA Finals against an incredible Giannis. Those who didn't believe in Booker were proven wrong. Book can lead his team when it counts, and I'm convinced he will win a title one day. And when he does, he will carry Kobe on his arm with him.
Pick two!
Our second pick of the week is Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz. Of all active players in the league, Donovan Mitchell is probably the one player that emulates Kobe's playing style the most. Mitchell is acrobatic, powerful, fast, and unstoppable when necessary. Even though he is only 25, he already has 13 games on his tally of 40 points or more, 9 in the regular season, that's almost 2 per season so far, and 4 in the playoffs. Who can forget that legendary series against the Nuggets where Mitchell traded 50-plus games with Jamal Murray? Mitchell drew the short straw in that series, but with a 57-point game, he played himself into the history books at a very early age. With Kobe's passing, a lot of knowledge for young players died with him. Kobe had only just entered the phase of his life where he really started mentoring younger players and passing on the Mamba mentality. For players like Mitchell, this is a huge loss. Luckily, he can draw that information from a very close second, someone who was very close to Kobe, someone who knows his game in and out, who battled with him on numerous occasions, someone who even broke Kobe's nose during an All-Star game. That someone, of course, is Dwyane White, Miami Heat shooting guard superstar who is now a minority owner of the Utah Jazz and Donovan Mitchell's personal mentor. And the Jazz can use White's help. The three-time NBA champion needs to help Mitchell and his defensive superstar Rudy Gobert break through their second-round ceiling. And the Jazz are sort of committed to the group they have now. They don't have many pieces to make another move, except maybe the expiring Joe Ingles. The last two playoffs, they suffered massive collapses, losing against Denver after being up 3-1, and the Clippers after leading 2-0. If the Jazz can learn to keep their cool, they could make a run this year, especially because the competition at the top in the West this year is thin. If they can get past the Warriors and the Suns, anything is possible.
Big three!
Our third pick of the week is Jaylen Green of the Houston Rockets. Of course, it is extremely early to punt on Jaylen Green to be the next Kobe. The kid has only played 32 games in the NBA, but there are some similarities. For starters, Green decided to skip college to pursue a professional career in basketball. Granted, Kobe went straight to the NBA and Green only went to the G League, but much like Kobe, Green's mindset was that he was too good for college and wanted to play with the big boys. And he was right. In his 15 games in the G League, he averaged nearly 18 points a game, 4 rebounds, and nearly 3 assists a game. He made a huge impression, which led to the second pick in the draft. Green doesn't shy away from big moments. As the Rockets' big hope for the future, he already showed us on numerous occasions that the big stage is where he wants to be. For example, on November 3rd, when the Rockets played in LA, the Lakers looked like they had the game in the bag with a 7-point lead with 45 seconds left on the clock, until Jaylen decided to channel his inner Kobe and drain 2 massive threes, including the last one, over AD in full defense mode. The Lakers did win that game, but the attention went to Green. It only took him 3 games to set a career high of 30 points. But with high highs come low lows. Green has difficulty being consistent, and he has had a lot of bad shooting nights. For example, in his last game against the Warriors, he finished 0 for 11 from the field. The Rockets have a young roster. Of the 10 players with the most minutes on the team, only 1 is older than 30, Eric Gordon. Of the 4 players with the most starts, Christian Wood, with his 26 year of age, is the oldest. Across the NBA currently are 11 19-year-olds playing, and 4 of them belong to the Rockets. Of all of those 19-year-olds, Jaylen Green is the best and most impressive scorer. If Green can deliver on his bright future, the Rockets look like they have struck gold. Like I said earlier, it is too early to draw comparisons to Kobe, but if someone could ask for an exception, it would definitely be Jaylen Green.
Pick 4!
Our fourth pick of the week is Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. Tatum is one of the few young players in the league who isn't a Laker that had the privilege to work closely with Kobe Bryant. In July 2018, just after his rookie year, Tatum worked out with Kobe in LA and let the superstar improve his game. Before he even got to the league, Kobe was Tatum's idol, role model, and hero. But getting to work closely with him, even for a little while, made Tatum hungry to achieve more. Kobe's Mamba mentality rests on a single question: how much does it mean to you? Basically, if you know what you want, how much are you willing to sacrifice to get it? And for Tatum, the answer is everything. Being a Celtic, chances are small that we will ever see Tatum play in a Laker uniform. Not that we have to be able to brand him to be the next Kobe, but for someone who wants to be Kobe, that could be a sad state of affairs. Instead, Tatum has found another way to wear his idol's jersey without upsetting his own fan base. When Tatum plays for the USA, he wears the number 10. Kobe wore number 10 when he won gold medals in 2008 and 2012. Now Tatum won gold in 2020 wearing the same number. There is no better tribute than that. The Celtics are struggling this season, and rumors are circling that GM Brad Stevens should break up Tatum and his running mate Jaylen Brown. Tatum has been struggling ever since he got sick last season. He struggled to breathe, which affects his performance on the court. He did pull out of that towards the end of the season, but he really hasn't been playing the same way since. To make things worse, Jason caught it again last month, missing 4 games. I believe it would be stupid of the Celtics to do something rushed. Yes, the pressure is on, but Tatum is still only 23 and Brown 25. If there is a team that has time to figure it out, it is the Boston Celtics.
Pick 5!
Our fifth pick of the week is Kobe Bryant. There is no other player like Kobe Bryant, and there will be no other player like Kobe Bryant. The 4 players we mentioned earlier are truly sensational and have every right to be named alongside Kobe, but Kobe himself can never be replaced. A 5-time NBA champion, including 2 times a Finals MVP, regular season MVP, 15-time All-NBA, 18-time All-Star, including 4-time All-Star MVP. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame in the class of 2020, with emotional speeches by his wife Vanessa and living legend Michael Jordan. For me personally, Kobe was basketball. I was first introduced to the sport in 2001 when I was 13. Basketball is not very popular in Belgium, and it was difficult to get your hands on NBA highlights. Remember, this was about 5 years before YouTube. The first NBA game I watched was Game 5 of the NBA Finals in 2001, when the Lakers beat Philly to win their second straight NBA title. Between Kobe and Allen Iverson, I was sold. Since then, I have always felt closely connected with Kobe, even though I had never met him personally. He was my favorite player, the Lakers my favorite team. I found myself becoming more objective as I grew older, but Kobe had always a special place in my heart, and he could not do anything wrong. The hardest part is that we didn't just lose Kobe on that horrible day. His daughter Gianna was in that helicopter too, alongside John Altobelli, his wife Carrie and daughter Alyssa, Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester and her daughter Peyton, and pilot Ara Zobayan. They were on their way to a girls' basketball tournament when the helicopter crashed in the hills of Calabasas. Gianna was 13 and on her way to become the next Bryant, playing basketball in a professional league. Her coach, Kobe, was prepping her for a career in the WNBA, a career that was already destined to be greatness. We will never be able to see what Gigi was capable of, but we will never forget what would have been possible. Rest in peace, Gigi, and look after your dad for me. This was our All-NBA Team of the Week. Please share the podcast and give us 5 stars. If you have any questions, contact us on a24office@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. We will talk to you next week. Ballers out.